Hi guys, let's talk about the turn today. So, in my opinion, a lot of golfers really think the turn in a wrong way. And let me explain what I mean by saying that. If you say, let's just turn your body. In the end of the day, you just stand upright and you think this is a turn, which is absolutely correct, right? You turn your right shoulder back and then you turn your left shoulder back. And this is absolutely correct. But one thing is wrong because you're not standing upright in the golf swing. So you're mostly bent over the ball, what you're supposed to do, right? So if you all of a sudden bend over, you cannot only think, I have to turn, because what is happening, most of the golfers think, okay, now I need to turn my hip, and you already see what happens, that hip actually comes up, right? And also the shoulder comes up, so you actually have the level of the shoulder more in an upright position than it's supposed to be. So you can see, if I just stand here and I think turn, I would do this. Okay, and this is what a lot of golfers do. They lift up their upper body, they completely extend or just really up, making their upper body upright. The hip tilt is not existing anymore. And what is happening from this position? Of course, you need to go down with your shoulder. You need to find your bending over position again. And all of a sudden, you can see that the club is coming more from the outside, much more from the outside to the ball. So, but this is one step ahead. This is the club. What I want to explain to you is how the shoulder turn is actually working, the principle of the body turn, pretty much. If I bend over, you can actually just keep your club in front of you and you bend over, and all you do is to bring your left shoulder down and the right shoulder up. If I go a little bit more upright, it's the same thing, but you're really keeping that angle of position of your upper body the same way. You cannot all of a sudden go up. So, we're supposed to be bent over, so the shaft needs to have an angle of about 45 degrees. And that body angle you have to keep. And all you have to do is you have to bring that left shoulder down to the ball, which is still a turn. Don't get me wrong, it's still a turn. It's not a tilt. It's not a pivot. It's not a pivot down, because all of a sudden you're coming in a reverse pivot, which is not correct either. But you have to understand how the shoulder turn really works. It's really going a little bit more like this. The right shoulder goes back and the left shoulder goes down. What is happening with the hip? The hip is the same. If I'm standing upright, it's turning upright. If I bend over, and if you do it correctly, a little bit of a tilt, you shouldn't stand like this, but you also shouldn't stand like over exaggerated. You just have a nice straight back. The right hip goes actually up. The left knee is going a little bit forward, and the right knee is going a little bit more to straight, right? So this is more of a turn in the bent position. You should not try to turn in a sitting position, because then you're really going upright again. So this needs to be a little bit more tilted, right? And then to the other side, it actually happens the same way. So right shoulder goes up, left shoulder goes up. Just to demonstrate it a little bit more in a picture, I have this hula hoop here. Just to show you again, if I stand upright, it's a nice turn, right? I'm just standing, I keep myself in the middle of that hula hoop. This is the turn. If I all of a sudden bend over, the hula hoop is also bending. So if I turn now, what most golfers do, I do this. But you have to keep that hula hoop in that position. So what do? You turn more like this. And to me, it actually feels more of a tilt than of a turn. So it's a sharp line, it's a sharp line of a pivot, but you have to turn down. And then you have to keep the hula hoop the same path or the same way again by going through the ball. So that means you have to keep that bent over position the whole time. Because now we're going in the follow-through. You maybe do the backswing in a good way, and then all of a sudden you think turn. What is happening? you know, so that left shoulder is going backwards, the right shoulder is coming forward. And you can see it on the hula hoop, everything makes a move to the front. So the club really comes from the outside, and then the slice or the pull hook, whatever, will be the result finally. So it's really, really the thinking of and the intention of how you really think that turn, right? So I show you a swing now with the club, and I tell you what I think when I'm concentrating on that correct turn. I'm focused here that I stay down and that I stay down again, because this is the final position I want to be in. So I show you. So left shoulder goes down, hips goes a little bit in a tilt as well, and then you really go up. Was a pretty good strike, but you know, there I really think of staying low, and that left shoulder really goes up and that right shoulder goes low again. Because as I said, you know, once you think turning, everything goes way too flat and way too upright, and the club completely leaves the neutral positions, okay? So stop thinking turn, because once you tell your brain to turn, it always goes back to the upright turn, which is natural. Yeah? And most of, let's say a high number, 80% of the golfers think the turn, unfortunately, and also 80% of the golfers come away from the outside. So just try it. And also you can do a practice with a cross arm position. You really try to get that shoulder turned down. As I said, once again, don't do a pivot down, turn it down. And there you can see everything goes a little bit more into a down position and not a straight position, okay? So I really hope that will help you to understand the turn a little bit more and better. If you like it, just put a like on this, subscribe this channel. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more content for you which will help you. And of course, you can also subscribe me on Instagram, and I see you very soon. Bye.